everyone, it's Sarah and welcome to my crochet channel. Today's video we're going to make a sock monkey dog woobie. Now a woobie is just a stuffed animal that you give to a dog or a puppy, but of course lots of kids love these too because they're just so silly. They always make me giggle. Well, you can make this dog woobie in a 12-inch or a 6-inch. The only difference is you don't do as many rows through the center of the body. And when people want them for a smaller dog, I make them just a little bit shorter. My dogs like the big ones. They like to carry them around, use them as a pillow. So this is a sock monkey woobie that we're going to make today. And this is a free crochet pattern on my blog, and you can find that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. What you're going to need to make the sock monkey woobie is a yarn that looks like a sock monkey. Now you can use a solid brown if you want to. These are two that I like to use. The Vanna's Choice in the Taupe Mist works really nice for the body and the monkey portion of the monkey. And then when I couldn't find the Vanna's Choice for a while, I started using this one, and this one is called Walnut. It's by, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. It's a stone wash, and it has that same similar brown and creamy variegated through it. And these are two really good yarns to use for the body of the monkey. Now this is a worsted weight number 4 yarn. And then you'll also need some black for the eyes, a small amount. You'll need some white for the ends of the feet and the hat and the mouth. And then you can use red or pink. I'm going to be making this for a friend who has a little poodle. And so I'm going to make it in pink because she asked for pink. And instead of the red, now I'll show you again on the face, you use the red in the mouth and the red for the pom-pom, and that's it. And I'm going to be doing those in pink. If you want the traditional red, you can certainly do that as well. Now we're going to be crocheting today with our H hook, and the H hook is an H8, which is a 5.00 millimeter crochet hook. You're going to need a needle because we'll need to weave in the ends, of course, and then we also need to sew on the eyes and the nose, or not nose, but eyes and mouth. The sock monkey doesn't have a nose. We'll also need to attach those arms and feet. And then, of course, you'll need a pair of scissors. Also, don't forget you're going to need some polyester fiber fill to stuff your monkey. You're going to need between 6 and 8 ounces depending on what size that you make. We're going to be starting with the top of the sock monkey, so we'll be beginning with our white yarn, and then we'll switch to our sock monkey yarn here. Now the sock monkey can be made in a 12-inch or a 6-inch sock monkey woobie. And for today's demonstration, I'm going to make the 6-inch since I'm making it for a friend, but I will explain to you how to make it longer, and it's really done all the same. The only difference is through the body portion you'll have more rows to make it longer. Alright, so we're going to begin with our white yarn. We're going to make our slip knot, and then we're going to chain 3. We're going to place 6 half double crochets in this second chain from the hook. So yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 of those loops. So there's 1, and I need to make 5 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we need 6 half double crochets for row 1. We're going to join to that first half double crochet with a slip stitch, pull the loop through the loop on your hook, and chain 2. Now for row 2, that chain 2 counts as our first half double crochet, and then we're going to half double crochet in that same stitch. And then we're going to place 2 half double crochets in each of the half double crochets around. And then we'll go from 6 half double crochets to 12. There we go. Got caught on a string. All right, let's count, see where we're at. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Now I'm going to join with a slip stitch and chain 2. Now for row 3, we're again going to place 2 half double crochets in each stitch around. We have our chain 2, counts as our first half double crochet. We'll stitch a half double crochet in that same stitch. And then again, we'll place 2 half double crochets in each of the half double crochets around. And this will take us from 12 half double crochets to 24. And then we won't do any more increasing. That is as wide as our sock monkey will be. So I'm just going to place 2 half double crochets in each of the half double crochets around. Whoops, got to get that second one in there. We want to go from 12 to 24. All right, let's count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, and 24. All right, let's join with a slip stitch and chain 2. And we're working on the hat portion. For row 4, we're just going to place 1 half double crochet and each half double crochet around. We're not increasing, we're going to stick with 24 half double crochets. One half double crochet in each half double crochet around. I've completed row 4, 1 half double crochet in each half double crochet around. This was the outside, and so I flipped it in because I want this to be my outside. You can choose whichever side you like better for the outside of your sock monkey. So I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the top of that chain 2. And I'm going to cut my yarn because that's the end of the white. And before I join in my brown, I want to show you the hole in the center. You'll notice that there's a hole right here. And I'm going to show you how to fix that real quick. It's easier to do it now than when you get the whole monkey done to make sure that it's closed nice and tightly. All right, so here is the inside, and there's that hole. And I'm just going to thread that beginning tail on my needle, and I'm just going to go around those stitches where I did those first half double crochets. And we'll just go around that and gently pull that in, because we do not want a hole in the top of our sock monkey head. All right, so then I'm going to go back the way I came, make sure it's tied in there nice and tight, and weave that in. Alrighty, and then we can go ahead and cut that off, and that's all taken care of. Alright, so here's the outside of our sock monkey hat, and now we're going to work down and work the sock monkey. So I'm going to join in my brown yarn that I'm using for my sock monkey. Snug that down and chain 2. Now, this next row, we're just going to place 1/2 double crochet in each half double crochet around. We're not going to do any more increasing. This is how big the whole body of the sock monkey will be around. So we'll go right in that next stitch and stitch a 1/2 double crochet, and our count from here on out down the body of our sock monkey will be 24 1/2 double crochets. Now I chose to use 1/2 double crochets for this project because I wanted a condensed stitch, and I also wanted it to be a little thicker than just a single crochet. So what I'm doing is I'm just placing 1/2 double crochet in each stitch around. Our chain 2 counted as our first 1/2 double crochet, so then we begin in the next stitch stitching 1/2 double crochets. The entire body of the sock monkey is stitched in 1/2 double crochets. All right, now I'm going to join to the top of that chain 2 with a slip stitch and chain 2. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to repeat this row for a total of 16 rows. So that counts these first 5 rows, so I need to do 11 more rows. For the 6-inch, if you're doing the 12-inch, you need to do this up through row 30. Remember to count those first 5 rows we just did. So if you're going to do the 12-inch, you need 25 more rows. If you're going to do the 6-inch, you need 11 more rows. All right, so I'm just going to keep going. 1/2 double crochet in each 1/2 double crochet around, join to the top of the chain 2 and chain 2 and repeat. Like I said, for the 6-inch you need 16 rows, and for the 12-inch you need a total of 30 rows, and that's counting the hat portion and the extra row that we did on the hat. So just to make sure so you're not confused, you need a total of 16 rows for the 6-inch and a total of 30 rows for the 12-inch. One 1/2 double crochet in each 1/2 double crochet around, join to the chain 2 with a slip stitch and chain 2. Now, if you're making a 12-inch, remember you need a total of 30 rows, and for the 6-inch, you only need a total of 16. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my yarn, and I'm going to leave myself 12 to 18 inches because we're going to be gathering the bottom of the Woobie closed. All right, so I'm just going to tie that off, snug that down, and now I'm going to stuff it. And I've got my stuffing here. And what I do is I put a small amount in, I push it down in, and it's up to you how tightly you want to stuff your Woobie. I'll put just a little bit more in the bottom. All right, so there's my Woobie. It's up to you. You can make him nice and fat or you can make him skinny. Doesn't matter. We're going to take this tail of yarn and we're going to thread that onto our needle. Stuff that in there. And now we're going to just stitch in and out at the top of those stitches and just gently pull that through, because what we're going to do is we're going to close the bottom of our woobie. And it doesn't matter which size you're making, we do it exactly the same. Just go in and out of those stitches on the last row at the top of them. And I'm back around where I came. And so now I'm just going to gently snug that down, make sure my stuffing's inside. There we go. I'm going to hold that tight, and I'm going to make a couple of stitches. I'm going to pull it tight again just to make sure it's going to stay. There we go. There's the bottom. And then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go the other way we came, because we want to make sure that is going to stay. We went one way, and now we're going back the other, because we don't want the bottom of our woobie to come unsewed, right? Give it a nice yank. And I'm just giving it a few stay stitches. And then when I'm happy that's not going to come undone, I just take my needle and I go in through some of those stitches through the middle of the stuffing. And then I'll pull it up a little, clip it, being careful not to clip a stitch, and then there we go. Now here's the 6-inch woobie. If you did the 12-inch, like I said, it's a lot longer, but the body of the monkey's done exactly the same. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make their little arms and feet. So let's make the arms and the feet for our sock monkey. Now I've gone ahead and made the 2 arms and 1 foot because all 4 of them are done exactly the same, and I've attached them, and I'm going to make another foot, and then I'll show you how to stuff it and attach it to your sock monkey. We're going to begin with white yarn again, make our slip knot. We'll chain 3. And then again, like we did with the top of the monkey, we're going to stitch 6 half double crochets and the second chain from the hook. Alright, there's our 6 half double crochets. We're going to join to the first half double crochet with the slip stitch, chain 2, and then we're going to place 1 half double crochet in the first stitch, and then we'll place 2 half double crochets in each of the half double crochets around. So we're going to go from 6 half double crochets to 12. Alrighty, let's see. Whoops, I got a string there. Alright, so now we have 12 half double crochets. We're going to join to that chain 2 with a slip stitch, and we're going to cut our yarn. Alright, now we're going to join in our brown sock monkey yarn. And we're not going to increase in stitches at all. 12 stitches is as big as we want the sock monkey paw to be. So we'll go ahead and chain 2. Now, before we go ahead and do the next row, I want to go ahead and close up that hole so we don't have to do that later. So I'm going to thread that beginning tail on my hook, and this is the inside. So I'm going to do like we did at the top of the sock monkey head and just close up that hole. There we go. Going around those stitches and closing up that hole. We don't want take two. We don't want to have a little hole in the bottom of our paws. I don't know if they're called paws on a monkey or not. Maybe we should just call them hands and feet. All right, so let's just make sure that's woven in good. And then we'll go ahead and we'll clip that string. And now that's all done. We don't have to worry about it. And there's the outside. And now we're just going to stitch 1/2 double crochet in each half double crochet around, because we're not increasing anymore. This is just the size of our little sock monkey hand and feet. And you're going to need to make 4. You'll need 2 for the hands and 2 for the feet. There we go. Now I want to make sure that I have 12. So let's go ahead and count. I'm going to flip this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I do need one more. We'll join to that chain 2. There it is. With a slip stitch and chain 2. Now we need to do a couple more rows. We've got 2 rows of white, and then we want 4 rows of the brown. So I have 1, so I need to do 3 more rows of 1/2 double crochet in each half double crochet around. Then we'll join to that chain 2. There we go. And chain 2. All right, so I'm just going to continue around stitching 1/2 double crochet in each half double crochet around till I have a total of 6 rows. So I have 2 rows of white and 4 rows of the sock monkey brown. I'm going to leave myself a long tail about 16 inches and tie off. Now, the 2 hands and the 2 feet are done exactly the same, so you need to make 4 of these. We're going to stuff it with just a little bit of stuffing. We're going to thread the long tail onto our needle. And we're going to gather it up the same way we did the top of the sock monkey head. So we'll just go in and out those stitches right along the top. Gather it in. Make a couple stitches, make sure that gather's going to hold. There we go. And I like to just go across it a couple of times. And there's our little sock monkey hands and feet. Now I already have this one that has the 2 hands already on and 1 of the feet. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to attach it. Just line it up. Go through the sock monkey body and then through the sock monkey foot. And I'll make a couple of stitches like that. Then I'll go in and go to the side. And I'll do the same thing going across. And I'll make a couple of stitches like that. And one neat thing about this particular yarn is it's very easy to hide your stitches. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the back. And that just helps me place it. Do I like where I've got it? Does it line up? And then I'm just going to make some stitches going around the little paw or the foot, just to hold it in place. And you can do as many stitches as you want until you're happy and satisfied that that's where you want your little foot or your little hand, depending on which one you're adding. They're all sewn on the same. There we go. All right, so then once I'm happy with where I've got it, I'll make a couple of stitches right at the base of the foot or the hand, whichever one I'm doing. And then I'll put my needle in and go right through the body and pull that up. Clip that stitch, making sure I don't cut a stitch, or clip that yarn, I mean, making sure I don't cut a stitch. And so now I've got 4 2 hands and 2 feet for my sock monkey. The next thing we're going to do is the mouth and the 2 eyes. To make the mouth, I'm going to be using pink. If you're doing the traditional colors, you'll want to use red. We're going to make our slip knot, and we're going to chain 7 chains. All right, we're going to turn and we're going to stitch a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So we'll put our hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through both of those loops. And now we're going to stitch in the next 5 chains, and that will give us 6 single crochets. All right, so there's our 6 single crochets. We're going to turn our work and we're going to single crochet down the opposite side of the chain, and we're going to just put 1 single crochet. Let's get that string out of the way there, and each stitch across for 6 single crochets. 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to join to the first single crochet on that other side with a slip stitch, and then we're going to tie off. All right, so that's the center of our mouth, and now we're going to put the white portion on the outside. So we're going to join in, chain 1, snug everything down, and then in this first stitch on this side we're going to put 2 single crochets. Then we'll single crochet across, and then we'll put 2 single crochets in that last stitch on this side. We're going to turn our work again, put 2 single crochets in that first single crochet on this side, 1 single crochet in those stitches across, and then 2 single crochets in that last single crochet. We'll join to the first single crochet on this row with a slip stitch, and then we'll tie off. Now we're going to leave ourselves a good amount of yarn because we're going to use that yarn to sew that onto our monkey face. So let's go ahead and tie that off. We need to take a couple seconds and weave these ends in, and then we'll sew our sock monkey mouth onto our sock monkey face. Alrighty, so the placement of the mouth is up to you. I like to line it up with the arms on the small one. On the bigger sock monkey, I make the arms go down just a little bit more, but it's up to you where you want to put your little mouth. Now remember, we have to have room for the eyes up here. So I'm just going to take my needle, I've threaded it with my long tail of yarn, and I'm just going to stitch around the edge of the mouth. Going in those stitches on the outside. And sometimes I go back and sometimes I go forward. Just depends on how I think it's holding. Got to use a little bit of your creative judgment there. Now he's upside down because I'm doing the bottom of his mouth. We just want to make sure the mouth's going to stay put when it's played with, whether it's played with you know, by a child or by a puppy or a dog. There we go. Make sure it has a nice edge. And if I have yarn left over from the white, I just go back around it again. It's not going to hurt it at all. It's just going to help. Just make some extra stitches until we run out of yarn. And then once you're happy it's going to stay put and you're out of yarn, I just go down in, make sure I've got a nice tight stitch there, and then I just go right through to the back and pull it a little, snip that yarn, and it goes right back in. So now our sock monkey has a mouth. It needs some eyes, it needs a tail, it needs some ears. So we have some more work to do. Oh, and don't forget, it needs a pom-pom. So I've already done one eye and sewed it on, and I've got another one ready to go. Now, black is really hard to see in the video, so I'm going to show you with the white yarn how to do the eye, but make sure you do them in black or whatever color you prefer for the eyes. We're going to make a slip knot. We're going to chain 2, and then we're just going to place 6 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. There's 3, 4, move that tail out of the way. There we go. 5 and 6. Then we'll join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch. And then we'll cut our yarn, leaving a long tail so that we can sew this onto the sock monkey. Now you will need to take a couple of seconds and close that little hole if you have one in the back, and we do that the same. We just go around and making sure that it's closed, and then we'll cut that off, and we'll have a little eye to sew on to our monkey. All right, so let me show you how to sew that on. This is a black one. These are both made exactly like that white one. I just wanted you to be able to see it because it's really hard to video with black yarn. All right, so here is, it keeps jumping away, my little eye. I'm going to make a little stitch there. Okay, and I've placed that little eye on, and now I'm going to line this one up. And what I do is I go in, and then I just go across like this, and just hold that eye where I want it. Then I'll go up in that next stitch, and that just helps place the eye. And then I just go around the edges, stitching it. And I like to kind of pooch it up. I want it to have just a little bit of a 3D effect. And just pooch his eyes up. And just go around sewing them on, and when you're happy with how much it's sewn on and you're happy that it's not going to come off, we'll just push that needle through the back and clip it off. So now our little sock monkey, we pooch his eyes up a little bit, has eyeballs, and the next thing we're going to do are his ears. So to make the sock monkey ear, I've already made one here, and I'm going to show you how to make the other one. You're going to need to make 2, of course. We're going to make a slip knot, We're going to chain 2 and put 6 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. 4, 5, and 6. Some yarn here. We're going to join to that first single crochet, and we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to place 2 half double crochets in each of the stitches around, so that we have 12 half double crochets, because monkeys have nice big ears. All right, let me count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I added one too many. Let's take that last one out. We only want 12. Join to the top of that chain 2 with a slip stitch. And then we'll cut our yarn, leaving ourselves some so we can sew that onto the side of our monkey head. Tie that off. First, let's weave in our end here on the back of our monkey ear. And if you have a little hole, we want to close that up as well. So we'll do the same thing. We'll just go around. Closing that up. And we'll just weave that in a little bit, making sure it's going to stay nice and secure. And clip that off. All right, so let's sew this onto our monkey. All right, so we need to thread the tail of yarn onto our thread, or onto our needle. Can't thread on thread, can we? All right, now I like to place the ear right under the hat. See where it's on the edge of that hat, right above the paw. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the ear and turn it this way. We're lining it up right by that edge of that hat, and we're just going to make some stitches going this way. Going through the hat, going through the monkey, and going through the ear, not the hat. We want, for some reason, we really want to make this ear stay put, because for some reason, the ears are the thing that seem like they always come off, and I have to reattach them. All right, so there's the ears. I'm going to make sure they're on good and tight. A couple of good stitches, and then we'll just go right in the head and pull that needle right out the back like we've been doing, and clip that. Alrighty. So now our monkey needs a pom-pom and, of course, a tail. To make the pom-pom, we're going to cut a piece of yarn that's about 10 or 12 inches long. And then we're going to take the yarn, not the yarn on the table, but the working yarn, wrap it around our hand like this, about 25 or 30 times, however many times you want to do for how thick you want your pom-pom to be. Then we'll cut that, and we'll lay this loop of yarn right on that piece of yarn we have going across. And we'll tie a knot nice and tight. You don't want your pom-poms to come out. Give it a good hard pull, and I like to put 3 knots in there. Now, if you're worried about that knot coming out, you can put a dab of frayed check or fabric glue in there, or even hot glue if you like. All right, so let's cut these loops. Didn't get them all, but what I like to do is push it forward, hold it in my hand like this, and just clip it. give it a little bit of a shake. I kind of like my pom-poms to be a little loopy. If you want it to be thicker and fuller, just add more of the loops. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use our needle. We have those two long threads. We're going to take one and pull it this way. Then we'll thread the other one. And we'll go in this side and pull it this way. Okay, so here's our pom-pom. We want it to stay put. And we're going to go right back out, or right back in where we came, and go to the back of the hat like that. And we'll do the same thing on this side. And doing it this way, we're going through the fibers of the stuffing, and that's going to help that pom-pom stay put. All right, so now we're just going to take those two strings and pull on them. And again, tie a knot so our pom-pom stays put. And then we can just clip those two strings so that they blend right in with that pom-pom. And that's how easy it is to make a little pom-pom for the top of your sock monkey. So the last thing that we need to do is make the monkey's tail, and it's really easy. You just take your sock monkey yarn and you chain about 10 or 15, however long you want your monkey tail to be. Whoops. I'm just going to do 10 since I'm doing a smaller monkey. And we'll cut that off and pull that through. Now on this end, we're going to just tie a knot and push it right up to the end of that chain and clip it off. Then we'll take the other end and thread that on our needle. There we go. And then just decide where you want your monkey tail to be. And I just stick it on there like that. Make a couple of loop stitches. And then just go right in. And there you go. So that's how you make sock monkey woobies, whether you're making a 6-inch or a 12-inch size. They're super fun to make, and they just make me laugh. They're just so cute. And of course, you can choose whatever colors that you like. So this is my sock monkey dog woobie crochet pattern.